Hello everyone again. I'm Young now from Katalon Team. I'm in charge of developing Katalon Studio in the team. So very excited with you guys here today. Today our two main speakers are Tai Nguyen and Tanto, the guy who just have some conversation with you already. So Tai Nguyen is the sales engineer of the team. He in charge of helping people to get you to with using Katalon Studio with technical problem they may have in the beginning. Tanto, he's one of like the key engineer in the product team. He in charge of a lot of feature in Katalon Studio that you might use or might will use in the futures. He's also very active on the forum of Katalon as well. So very first takeaway today in this webinar, if you don't know how to use Katalon Studio or you have problem while using Katalon Studio, so you know the guys that you should look for to do that problem for you. All right. So for the agenda today, I will do a real quick introduction about Katalon for those who haven't had a chance to know about Katalon and Katalon Studio yet. And then Tai and Tan will go ahead with all the new features that we have just delivered in Katalon Studio 7.5 that we it just released weeks ago. So real quick about Katalon. For Katalon and Katalon Studio in specific, we aim to deliver an all-in-one solution for our user and customer to cover on the problem that they have with automated testing. And you might know already for Katalon Studio is a script generation and execution tool that can do testing with not only web testing, but also with API, mobile, and desktop testing. So for Katalon Studio, this is the second year that is named as the best automation testing tool for the second consecutive year on Gartner. And other than Katalon Studio, we also have other tool sets for covering different aspects in automation testing. We have Katalon Recorder, Katalon, and also other tools that we IBM developing. We had TestUp, which is a reporting and analysis tool that will help you to analyze, to investigate the problem that you might have with your execution result in order to give you feedback about the quality of your product and help you to make a better decision for your automation testing pipeline. With Katalon, we cover almost up the latest testing environment for iOS, for Android, for almost the popular browser. So we have also support for Edge, Chromium, which is one of the recent browser that we have features. We soon have feature for recording on it soon, but now you can execute on that browser. So one of the special thing in Katalon that I know is that we have product with you can use to develop automation testing on both, not only for on Windows, but also on Mac and Linux. So it will help you to leverage on the resources that you have, so you can go ahead with use the tool that you don't need to switch to the operating system that you get used to. And I know a lot of guys who use Linux, and they really appreciate that we deliver on the environment that they get used to with. Other than that, Katalon Studio also available on the cloud environment such as like AWS, Azure DevOps, or Docker. So we recently have a version on Amazon Web Service, which you can go to AWS and start using Katalon Studio anytime. We also developing on Azure DevOps, and our platform is also available on Docker, which is the core for working with like CI/CDs and Cloud DevOps. So that's all that with the quick introduction for me. for Katalon today. Don't let you guys wait more than that. For Katalon Studios 7.5, this is one of the version that we have a lot of new features and enhancement. So it's cover various area in the tool, not only for desktop or API, but also for web testing. So we have features that cover different phrase in the automation testing lifecycle, like script generation, execution, and response as well. We have a break for system configuration with the proxy stuff, with help enterprise to deal with the infrastructure problem as well. So we features, there's 7 main features that we're gonna cover today. So Ty, can you have go ahead with the native window recorder?
Yeah, thank you, Young, for your kind introduction. Yeah, and I think that I'm gonna take it from here. Let me share my screen, okay?
Okay, stop sharing.
Okay, let's get started with my first part. So, hello everyone, my name is Thai and I am a cell engineer from Katalon Team. So very happy to see you today on the webinar today. So let me start with my part of sharing on the webinar today. So the first thing first, I'm gonna share with you is about the new window recorder. And yeah, let's give you a little bit of background information. So desktop testing is a ubiquitous term from the beginning of the computer science history. So the need for the desktop testing is always on the top priority in the software industry. But writing one desktop application test cases is never an easy task. It requires lots of resources and effort in order to put the automation test case into work. And knowing that Katalon Studio provide you the desktop testing capability, as well as provide you the tool set for you to quickly and seamlessly create your favorite desktop test case. But due to the early stage of the application, so that there's some kind of limitation of the tool set that is caused some troublesome for you guys, your tester, to actually use it. So, based on the needs of the tester, we know that the new window record action should be easy to use and should work in the real-time manner, so that we have been upgraded our old window recorder action with a newer window recorder action, which have a native action to the window itself. So let's watch a short demo clip to see what had involved since the last time you see and you use the window recorder action in Katalon Studio. Okay, and now I'm gonna show you. All right, and you can see to begin the desktop testing, we really need to turn on the WinApp driver. And okay, and now I'm gonna show you how the old window recorder action to be executed. So you can see it's gonna need to be do through this window, and my application under test today gonna be the putty. Yeah, so you can see every action that we want to interact with the app itself, you need to interact it with through a possible action, and it's quite not native to you and not have that kind of directly action to use, right? And there's some limitation with this kind of action view too. And now we want to introduce you a new native window recorder. I'm gonna use the same app with its putty, and I'm gonna show you what is the difference. So with this new window recorder, it's gonna be exactly like the web recorder that we're having right now. So all the action that you do gonna be directly interact with the app itself, not through some kind of third-party environment, something like that. Yeah, and I'm gonna record all the action and play it back for you to see. So you can see it's exactly like the web. You just need to save the object into the object repository and give the test case a name. And now to play it back, just need to go for the play button. Yeah, just need to go for the play button and select the window action. And you can see right here, all the action that you had just recorded is now playing back. Exactly like the web version of the recorder. Okay. Yeah, and that's it for the window action. So to recap, our new native window recorder is gonna be a seamlessly recording experience that's similar to the web recorder that you had using up until now. And by this, it's expedite the test script recording progress, and it's also provide you a much more stable version of recorder compared to the previous version. So let's get to another part of the sharing today. So another thing that I want to share with you today is some kind of enhancement from the Katalon Studio team to the API testing. And I want to cover both SOAP API testing and the REST API testing. And by doing that, I'm going to show you the Katalon Studio view for you to directly interact with the new update from the SOAP API testing. So as you can see from the screen here, we have a new feature that we're gonna provide you the capability to customize the service endpoint. So back in the day, when with the older version of Katalon Studio, all you can do with the UI SOAP API creation is to provide the WSDL URL, and you just can load the service function from this WSDL. So for example, in the case that the service endpoint and the WSDL had the different domain, then you cannot have the capability to actually modifying it, and you need to go into the script mode of the custom keyword to actually do something. But with the new version of the SOAP API testing that I'm gonna show you right now, we have the capability to do that. So by the simple action of, let me copy this URL. By the simple action of the load service function, it's gonna load a lot of function for you. And it's gonna, based on the content inside the WSDL, you can see in the request message and HTTP header, right now it have nothing inside of it, right? But by clicking this button, it's gonna load the content inside the file into the request message and the HTTP header for you. So that's the new update for the SOAP API testing. Another thing gonna be some upgrading into the REST API testing web service. So for the REST API, is kind of a slightly update for the post method. So back in the day, for the HTTP body, when using the form data type of HTTP body, you don't have the content type field, right? But right now we provide you the capability to customize the content type field also. Yeah, and it's gonna help you to expedite and to facilitate your process of creating the web service object. Yep, and gonna go back to my slide here. Uh, the last thing that I gonna in charge of sharing today is about our new additional in the keyword pool. So uploading files is always a something that's not that easy in the web automation testing. And in order to do some file uploading, it's gonna be require you to do a lot of scripting. And with the modernization of the websites for front end nowadays, right? There's no longer a simple website that just had the button to click it on, and it's gonna show you the pop-up to the folder so that you can select the file to upload onto the website. No, right now it's gonna be something like you're gonna have the box so that you can drag and drop your image or drag and drop your file into this part of the website. So in order to do that, it's gonna, if you don't have the support out of the box, it's gonna require you a lot of coding skill or something. But right now, Catalan Studio support you with the capability to upload the file through the keyword. So introduce you the new keyword upload file with drag and drop. So all you need to provide is to provide the file path to your file, and it's gonna try to upload the file onto this website right here. So let me run the test case and show you directly how it can actually do the thing. Okay. Right. So you can see here is successfully upload the file onto Imager. Yep. And you can also upload multiple the files by drag and drop. So to be able to upload multiple the file is going to be a little bit different, but yeah, it's always in the documentation of Catalan Studio already. So you can upload multiple files at once using this new keyword. And I'm going to show you how. Okay. Yeah, and you can see all three files has been already updated here. Yeah, so that is for our new keyword to resolve one of the most complicated action of the test automation now today. And now to continue this part, I want to introduce Thomas that he gonna show you for what news in Catalan Studio. And I think that I'm gonna share my screen sharing for Thomas. So Thomas, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you, Ty. I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
okay, okay.
Okay. Oh, so
Yeah.
Young, yeah, Young. Before my part, would you like to share some words?
Just go ahead, Tanto. I think yeah, just go ahead with that.
Right. Okay. So hello, everyone. So first, let me share my screen. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And we are in. Yep. Okay. So I'm Tan. You can call me Thomas. Accidentally, that's also the name of one of the forum members that I actually chat with frequently. Hi, Thomas. So I'm gonna talk to you about some of the enterprise features. So Ty just talked about some of the enhancements with regards to executions uh, on web, API, and desktop. And now I'm gonna talk about some of the enterprise features. And well, it's not anything that is too crazy. It's just small things that deliver values to you guys. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you is a new feature called test suite collection report email. So in the previous version 7.4, when you execute a test suite collection, um, all of the test suite reports will be sent to the email to the recipient. So as you can see clearly, it has some drawbacks. The first thing is that it will flush your inbox with so many emails, and it will be very difficult to get an overview of the entire test suite collection. And for that reason, to resolve these problems and to help managers' lives easier, we introduced a feature called test suite collection report email. So this feature only sends a single consolidated email to the recipient. So let me show you actually the before and after. So this is a test suite collection that I prepare. I'm not gonna execute it because it contains a lot of test suites, but in real world, in reality, possibly your test suite collection may contain a lot more test suites than this. So it serves as a good example. So if I execute this test suite collection on 7.4, this is the result. And this is the email that I set up. So as you can see, I don't know about you guys, but this is an inbox that I don't want to check. You can see that all of the test suite executions are here, and you have to manually click over. You have to manually click each one to see the status. And this is very inconvenient. And in 7.5, the same test suite collection, if you go to project settings and email, you can actually see that in 7.5, there is a slight change in the UI, especially for KSE. You will see that there are two options here to enable sending the test suite collection executions. And this option is to skip each test suite execution report. So if you don't check this, you will receive all of the test suite reports and the test suite collection report. But you know, I don't like to be I don't like to do that because it's very annoying. So in 7.5, if you execute the same test suite collection, of course, if you set up the project setting that I just showed you earlier correctly, and if you execute a test suite collection, what you will receive is simply this. So as you can see, this is a single test suite collection execution report. So as you can see here, 7 test suites passed, 7 test suites failed. So when you look at this report, you can immediately have an overview of what is going on in your organization's testing activities. So that is one feature. And another cool thing, another small cool thing is that just like test suite email, you can also customize the template of the test suite collection email. So if you go to email, template, and test suite collection, you will see that this is a very familiar view, and you can customize this email template with some environment variables as well. So this is very convenient. Okay, so that is one of the features that I would like to talk to you about. And the second features I would like to talk to you about is regarding executions. So retry failed test data. Okay, so previously in 7.4 and before that, if you execute a test suite and you set up retry strategy, and there was only an option to retry the failed test case. So if you execute a test case that binds to 1,000 data rows, and one of the data rows fail your test case, the test case will be retried 1,000 times. So obviously, it does not add values to your testing. On the other hand, it will increase the execution time unnecessarily, which will mean that you receive feedback much longer, and you have to run everything. And the more tests you have to run, the more likely that some tests are going to be flaky, and you're going to have to execute the whole thing again. So in 7.5, if a test case binds to let's say 200 data rows, and one of the data row failed the test case, you can select to rerun the test case only one time corresponding to the failed test data. So as you can see, this add values by rerunning only the failed test, which means that you're gonna receive the results much quicker, and it avoids the flakiness of other test data as well. And you only have to execute the failed test in order to make your whole test suite pass. Okay, so for this feature, let me actually execute the test suite for you, because I think it will be a good case study. Okay, so let's start with 7.4, and let's open a test suite that I would prepare. So there are 2 test cases. Each test case binds to 5 data rows. So altogether, they bind to 10 data rows. So when you execute this test suite in 7.4, oh, this is 7.5, let me, oh yeah, oh, this is 7.4. This is the title of the project, my bad. Okay, so if you execute this test suite, let me actually do that. You will see that the first test case will fail on one of the data row. And because I configure the retry strategy, it will execute retry execute one time. Okay, so the slowness will make you appreciate the feature better, I think. Yep, and now it is retrying. So as you can see here, in the second retry, it is executing 5 test cases. So as I said before, this option only allows you to execute failed test cases. It doesn't take into consideration the test data. So now in 7.5, if we execute the same test suite and we configure to only retry with failed test data, here, if you just check on this and then execute this test suite, you will see that in the second retry, it will only execute the test case one time because there is only one data row that made the test fail. Okay. Yep. So it is executing the first time and now on to the second retry. Opening a lot of applications does have some use, especially at times like this. Yeah, okay. Yep. So now, as you can see here, it only execute one test. And as I said before, imagine that your test case binds to 1,000 data rows. This feature will help you reduce the time that it takes to execute to make your test suite pass significantly. Okay. Now on to the third features that I would like to talk to you about, which is proxy enhancement. Now this is a little bit more difficult to explain. So the problem is that before in 7.4, well, no, actually not before. There are some organizations that separate between 2 types of proxy servers. A proxy server for accessing the internet and another proxy server just for the testing activities. And previously, when they work with Katalon Studio, they have to change the way they work in order to align with the way that Katalon Studio handles proxy. So they only can use one proxy for both proxy servers, and it's a lot of work, and sometimes the efforts that uh, spent on doing that are not justified to the upper management. So that's the first problem. And the second problem is that in the previous version, when you need to run tests on runtime engine in a proxy environment, you had to manually type into the proxy parameters, and this opens doors to a lot of problems. So first of all, you can type in the wrong password, you can type in the wrong credentials, or you can copy and paste from a text editor which carry an invalid character onto the runtime engine. So you won't be able to execute tests on runtime engine in a proxy environment. So faced with those challenges, in Katalon Studio 7.5, we introduce a new method for handling proxy. And specifically, we separate between two types of proxies, authentication and then system proxy. So authentication proxy is the proxy that all of the requests that authenticate with Katalon will pass through. So activation, deactivation, plugin reloads, activation from runtime engine, all of these networks will pass through the authentication proxy. And the system proxy is basically is everything else. So connections from browsers, API testing, mobile testing, all of the connections from your testing activities will pass through the system proxy. So that's how we resolve the first problem. So actually, let me show you how that works specifically. So in 7.5, if you go to the usual place where you can configure the proxy, Katalon proxy, you can see now there's a message that says that informs you about the changes that we made. And if you click on the proxy, you will see two types of uh, settings. The first is system. The first is authentication. The second is system. And if you provide your proxy information for each of these proxy configurations, um, it will help you separate between the request that you would need to activate Katalon Studio and runtime engine and the request that originate from your test activities, test executions, things like that. So let me show you that. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I will reload my plugins and I will use a software that basically captures the proxy. And you can see here, when I reload my plugin, a request is passing through a the IP, the proxy that I just set up. So as you can see here, this is the IP. This is a local host. You don't need to worry about that. And this is the port for the authentication proxy. So for the authentication proxy, I set up to pass to the port 8080. And now you can see that the plugin reloads is passing to the 8080 port. So, and the second thing is the system proxy. The connections will pass through the local host at port 1234. So we just need to basically open our web recorder. And then here you can see that the browser has opened. And since this is not authenticating anything, the request is passing to the proxy at port 1234. So as you can see here, we have successfully separated between two types of proxy. This is for authentication with communication with Katalon, plugin reloads, activation at runtime engine and Katalon Studio. And this is for your testing activities. So if you execute your API test, it will also pass through this proxy. And that's how we solve the first problem. And the second problem is the command line problem. So to handle this problem in 7.5, what we do is that we introduced a capability to generate proxy arguments into the command line from the command line builder here. So as you can see here, if you click on generate command, here you can see that a bunch of proxy parameters are automatically added for you. So this will make your the process of generating command lines to work with runtime engine significantly easier. So if you switch to 7.4, you will not see those options available, and you have to manually add them. So as you can see clearly the difference. So this is how we resolved the second problem with regards to generating a command line that allows you to execute tests in runtime engine in a proxied environment. Okay, so these are the enterprise features that I wanted to talk to you about. So nothing's too crazy. The first thing is test collection email. The second thing is retry with file test data. And the third feature is proxy enhancements, especially separating between authentication and system proxies, and then generating the proxy arguments automatically from the command line builder for you. Yep, so I think that's my part. Let me hand things over to Young.
Great, Thomas. Thank you for the great demo. So now before coming to the Q&A sections, there are many questions here that we could try to address as many as we can. For the question that we cannot, we will deal with it later and send to you via email. But before that, please help us to do a polling. So hope you guys received the polling already. We really looking forward to receive feedback from all you guys in order to make us better. Okay, so for Ty and Thomas, can you have like skim through the question from on the audience today? So we try to address as many we can in the net like 15 minutes.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, so Adam Holtman, is the drag and drop functionality available for Windows applications? So no, it is currently only available on the web platform. So we will improve Windows testing in the future. Okay, Rebecca, how does it know where to drop the file? What if the drop error is a smaller part of the page instead of the whole page? So this is a very good question. So the keyword, the upload file with drag and drop keyword have two variations. The first variation, you only pass in the path to the image. And the second variations, you can pass in the first argument, the test object, which indicates the drop zone. So it fits in the second use case as you mentioned. And you only need to identify the track zone, and then you pass that test object into the first argument of the keyword. So it will automatically drag and drop the image into the zone that you specified. Yep, so does that answer the question about the upload with drag and drop keyword? Okay, so just let me know in the comment section. Stephen Walker, assume we need Java JDK, not just JRE for our installation. So Katalon Studio actually comes packaged with everything that you need. So you don't need to install any extra dependencies in order to make it work.
Okay. I think that I'm gonna answer the question from Tamila. So do you have any evaluation metrics to compare Katalon with other test automation tool? Yes, but if you want to have the discussion about the Katalon advantages compared to other automation test tool, please contact the Katalon business team, and we're gonna be on the call and help you to resolve that um, worry about the evaluation metric. So just go to our website and contact our sales team, and we're gonna get back to you as soon as possible.
Okay, so Stephen Robertson, can it can it displays the fail test in the consolidated email? So it only displays the fail test suites. So, but if you enable the basic report plugin, you will also see in the attachment the file with all of the reports of all the test suites. So you can view individual test executions in that attachment.
Okay, so we have the question about the profile. So this user, he wants to use the environment variables, and he cannot inject it in the real time. So actually we provide you a lot of keyword to getting the project direction in the real time, and you can pass it into that global variable. So that you can switch the profile and use it in whatever environment that you want to use. Okay. Uh, okay. There's a lot of question. Yeah, let's try to answer as much as possible.
Yeah. So there are many questions that it's better for us to send the document link directly to the chat. So I think it's quite a bit like, do you any document for proxy setting? So we can send to the attendee the link to the document. So it's better for them to take a look at that and deal with the problem.
Yeah, we will share the recording. Yeah, we will share the recording after this session end. So just stay tuned and wait for our email about the recording link. There's a question that one user asking for the window recorder is available on the free version of Katalon. So Young, can you have the client, can you have the user to answer this question?
The question from Tamila, right?
Yeah, the question from Tamila.
Yeah, so for the new window recorder is feature is available only for Katalon Studio Enterprise, but you can have a trial of 30 days. So with a business account. So it not on the free, is not available for the free versions, unfortunately.
Yeah. And another question also from Tamila. So can Katalon be used by the non-technical people or is not recommended? Yeah, I think this is the question for you, the product owner.
Actually, yes. So if you take a look at our review on Gartner, so we appreciate it by people who haven't had a lot of experience with coding, experience with automation testing before. So so the answer is short answer is yes. So you can try and have experience by yourself, I believe.
Yeah, thank you, Young. So we have the question that can we log into Catalan Studio without internet? And yes, we support you to do the offline testing. So you can generate the offline license of Catalan Studio without the internet and log into Catalan in your, airtight environment.
Yeah, and it's only applicable for the enterprise version, but you can trial it out. Another question: does Katalon upload file with drag and drop keyword? Does Katalon support recording it? The answer is no. Currently, it's not supported in the recording phase. You can only use it in the execution phase.
There's a question for can the user use all the different kinds of testing in a single test case? So they want to test both mobile, web window, and web service in a single test case. So the short answer gonna be yes, because that's the purpose that Catalan Zero created. You know, to be simplified and to centralize every kind of testing into one place. So that's basically what the purpose of Katalon to create it to generate the test case that can test both mobile, web window, and web service. And a lot of question about the documentation that we gonna send you through the email after this live webinar. So stay tuned.
Yep, you can also find it in docs.katalon.com. And just for the problem that you want to look into, like desktop testing or about the features that we demo today, on can be found in docs.katalon.com.
Hello, Gregory. I just recognize you. So about the GitHub action, yeah, we has acknowledged it and already on the fixing phase. So we're gonna try to release that fix as soon as possible. So I gonna update for you through the email when we have that fix given release. So wait for us a little bit for a little while. Yeah, thank you, Gregory.
So one very cool question from Linu Ramachandra. Is it possible to migrate my Python Selenium Automation framework script to Katalon Studio? So for now, the answer is no, but it's something is in our plan. So we are working on um, helping people to migrate script from other framework to Katalon Studio. So what we have done with Selenium task, we doing right now with Selenium IDE v3. We also working on supporting JavaScript as well. And I believe that Python is something that we definitely under consideration in the futures.
Yes. So a question from Sridhar. Does Katalon require actions performed on macro-enabled spreadsheets? So I think because Google-related products block automated testing tools from accessing, so I think the answer is no at the moment.
There's a question about do we support other defect management system other than Jira? Then yes, we support many more other defect management system, and you can find on the technology page of Catalan Studio.
Okay, so an anonymous attendee asked for extend the trial time. So I think the question is yes. So you can contact business@katalon.com if you want to extend your trial time in order to have more spaces for doing your evaluation.
Okay, so our scripts, another question from Sridhar. Our scripts created on 7.4 work on 7.5. So yes, it should work. It should work just fine.
So I think there's a lot of question regarding to the testing. I don't know if you can give them some answer, Tan.
Yeah, so currently there isn't a testing integration, I think, but you know, all of the necessary APIs are there. So I think in the future, if we see the demand rising, we will definitely consider building an integration plugin. But that's to be considered actually.
Okay, for wrap, very quick, very short question, but are there any plan for more cloud integrations? So the answer is yes, but if you have any cloud application in specific, you can put it into forum to let us know. Right now, we plan for doing integration with Azure DevOps. So it's some of the thing that we aim for. If you have any thing in specific, you can let us know, and we.
Yeah, the question for 8, well, so what if the process, if you want to be the affiliate seller with Katalon in UK? Yeah, so please contact the business email of Katalon Studio, and we gonna have some discussion about that.
So a question by Marshall. He has the enterprise version, but after the trial, the Katalon Star says that you need to buy it. So it is included. So the UI on the Katalon Star is currently a little bit behind the latest intentions. But please go to the documentations and see the offline plugin or private plugin section in order to have access to all of the plugins in Katalon Studio Enterprise. So when you purchase KSC, you have all of the plugins. So it's a matter of finding a way to access them.
Okay, one question from an anonymous attendee: how we can run Tascade in parallel using Katalon. So I believe that in the demo of Tan, Tomat, he showed us how to run it in parallel with test with collection. So you can utilize collection and put your Tascade in different test with, and you can configure to execute those test with in parallel. Or even you can break your, you can use like command line execution and configure your two test with to run at the same time as well.
So a question from Benjamin. Do we need to install IBM Server before we can record any action on mobile? So the answer is yes, but Katalon Studio does provide you with a handy way to install the dependencies for mobile testing. So you can go to the toolbar. There should be a tools, and in there you can see the iOS, and then you can see the install the dependencies button. So if you just click on it, it will automatically try to install the dependencies for you. And if that fails, you can always read the documentation. But yes, you have to install IBM Server before you can do mobile testing locally, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, so we gonna try to answer some kind of last question before the webinar time run out. So there's a question from Francois de Jagger. So do we have the discount for educational institution? So yeah, you should contact the business team directly, and we are more than willing to incubate the Catalan user from the educational institution. And you guys just need to contact the business team, and we're gonna in the discussion with you about the discount and about the support service for the educational institution.
Great time. Actually, we have many customers from educational institution.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, in
a
all
lot
over
of
the US and
university.
in the Europe as well. So we want to have some special program for education as well. And I believe that we stand to, we willing to extend it more if we have demand from customer. A great question from Vijay Ramet. So I have a question regarding execution. Like sometime my task uh, pass and same case test case fail when I run again. I mean, I think the question is about why I need to rerun the test case again, right? So I mean, the whole purpose of retry if I didn't understand your question correctly, the whole purpose of retry in automation testing is because the flagging nature of automation testing. So sometimes it's failed just because some like network or other setup that actually another fail of the test case. So retry is always a good strategy that we have in order to make sure the test really fail because the application or the test script, not because of the flagging of the environment. So I believe that the retry feature is sometimes the kind of the stuff that you should use whenever you execute actually when you do with a lot of test cases.
Okay,
Yeah,
a great question from Vishal Gaikwar. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. So how can we configure a test suite to run based on success of last test case? So in the upcoming releases, we will support this use case. So please stay tuned.
yeah, there's still more than 100 Q&A to be waiting for answer. And
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it seems the types is over. So for all the questions that we cannot cover in the session today, we will collect and we will answer this offline. We'll send to you via email. Okay. So for closing the webinar today, thank you very much for being with us today. We hope that we can receive more feedback from you guys in order to make it better for the community and for all the customer and user. So we will have more webinar this in June and also in next month as well. So stay tuned with us. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
You guys.
Bye. Thanks,
Um,
everyone. Thank you. Have a good day.
yeah,
Have a
have
good
a good
one.
rest of the day.